Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, friends. It's going to be such a spooky, fun episode.
Ooh.
Why do you look confused, Brandon?
Because I don't think I don't know what was happening, but I
What?
couldn't hear you.
Oh, but
Now
you
I can hear everything.
Okay, cool.
We're filming in the dark, so I'm a little bit.
Yeah, we're a little disoriented.
I'm
but
unnerved.
Yeah, it's the Halloween episode, y'all.
And I just watched Hocus Pocus.
You did?
Yeah. Remember I sent the Snapchat of the group, and we talked about Hocus Pocus and how we both don't really remember the first one.
Yeah,
Even though, I mean, I've seen it a million times. So.
I've seen it quite a bit, but I couldn't really tell you You said it was like they just like absorbed children.
Yeah. So my big deal with it was I felt like it was a tale of two movies. It was half wanting to be nostalgic to the original Hocus Pocus and be kind of scary and spooky ooky, but still have like the really high, like they're very camp acting, but like at a high level where it doesn't feel.
I've seen that a lot with like remakes of like really iconic single movies.
Yeah,
they're like,
but
let's make a number 2. And
but then
like,
all the other characters, like the kids and then the owner of the magic store, were like plucked straight out of Camp Rock.
Well, do you want to tell the people where we are right now?
We are in. Is there a drum roll? I don't know.
We don't have a drum roll.
We've not been very good at the sounds lately, so
No, there's not.
we are
Wait,
at.
we have a scary sound.
Yeah.
Though. How perfect.
I was about to do it. We are at Samantha Fisher's apartment, which is haunted. She is into witchcraft. She is a spooky ooky girl. There's candles everywhere.
We have crystals. We have rosemary.
Because we are not burning sage or Palo Santo because they are endangered.
Yeah, not our thing. Not our place.
Although I will say Palo Santo smells so good.
It's a good scent. Good smells. Thank you for being here, Sam.
Thank you guys for being here.
We were like, we're coming over.
Literally, I was like, Sam's apartment is spooky ooky.
It's
Let's
the
go
spookiest
there.
place. There's always weird things happening. I can't even make it up.
Yeah,
Things
it
missing,
always is
things
something.
moving.
Every time I get a Snapchat from Sam, she's like, "What was that? Did you hear that?"
It's like, oh my God, because
Whatever filter she has.
Sam always uses a filter. There's always a ghost in the background also using the filter.
Wait, what happened in your bathroom the other day or in your kitchen
It
where you
was
were
the
freaking
filter
out?
where it was in the mirror and it's just plain behind it. There was no reason the filter would show up because you know when they're like, oh, I can kind of see how it thinks that's a face. No, it'll be like a perfectly white wall and then it's just behind my shoulder and I'm like, it's going to be a no for me.
And she just freezes. And I'm like, get out of there. What are you doing?
Well, it doesn't help, Nicole, that the first time you were at my apartment, you were in here for 2 seconds and you're like, I think it's haunted.
Did I say that?
You did.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was such a long time ago. And you just, the Snapchat memory came up and you guys Sam sent it.
It's probably been rearranged in here 600 times since
700
then.
times.
Who knows that?
There's just so much space to do so much with.
Yeah, Sam has tell the people how many square feet.
A whole 450 square feet.
It's great. You're like living like a little New Yorker.
I
in
love
here.
my little tiny space. I love small spaces.
And you have 3 furry roommates here. We have never had so many producers in the house, you guys. It's really high tech today.
We always have 2, but one of them is a shadow producer who does not
Yeah.
at all enter production. He just funds everything.
But these ones have no choice because, you know, the lack of square footage.
Nope, here we are in the podcast case.
With the litter on the toes.
Yep, there it is, just everywhere.
I was just telling Brandon that I wasn't planning to have 3 cats in this small space, but obviously I do, and we make it work.
You do.
But every time we meet someone new or I'm introduced, before they even know my name, you guys tell them that I have 3 cats.
Do we really?
Every single time. They're like,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, she has 3 cats. And I'm like, okay, you guys.
But we say it like it's this impressive feat. Because
And Sam's like, it's embarrassing. Stop. I didn't tell them that you used to show pigs and have ferrets. I'm not wrong.
This is true. It's true.
Sam's had a lot of lives.
literally.
This is true.
Oh my
We've gone through many phases, but here we are. Now I just live in this haunted apartment with 3 cats and 100 plants.
And lots of candles.
Sending the vibes.
Yeah, so we're doing the Spooky Ooky episode. I have some materials that I've pulled together, so these guys really have no idea what they're going to be listening to. But I do have just like one question for us to bounce around, and that is, what's the scariest thing you've ever found in or on a plant?
Well, I would say today has been my worst.
Well, that was in your fish tank, but tell everyone what happened,
My
because
fish
that's really
tank
fitting.
full of plants. Okay, so I was going to say my worst was like the frog that was in that Home Depot plant. And then I went to repot it and a frog jumped out and I was like, and it was like an Amazonian frog
It was
type
so
thing.
cute.
And I was like, and that was horrifying, but not compared to today. Today it could have been a crisis. So I was cleaning the fish tank and I'm going to post this video. I'm going to post it on TikTok. It was supposed to just be a easy, breezy, beautiful water change video on my aquarium.
Cover girl.
Fishy girl. Anyway. So here I am just cleaning the fish tank, and this is all on video. So you guys will get to see my actual reaction when I realize what had happened. Because I had it so you could see the whole fish tank and me doing the whole process, and all I was going to do
You're
was
like content queen.
So all I was going to do was speed through it. Nope. So here I am, just cleaning the fish tank like I normally do. Boop-a-doop-a-doo, boop-a-doop-a-boo, boo-da-da-da-da. And then I go to the UV filter, which clears out all the algae. Blessed be the fruit. I do not have an algae problem anymore. It's great. You know, I've complained about algae on this podcast about 4,000 times. No longer an issue. But I've got a new issue. I'm cleaning out this filter, popping little snails that are inside the filter, and I pull out the main chamber. And I go, oh, there's some slime on there. Because there's a lot of slime in my fish tank. We have hard water, so slime accumulates very easily. So here I go to go wipe off the slime. I was literally just going to go whoop with my finger and wipe it on the paper towel.
With your finger?
And I go whoop, and it doesn't come off. And then it, like an elephant trunk, rises up. And I was like, oh, like I've had goosebumps more than half of the day, and I just got them again thinking about it. It was a leech.
I'm uncomfortable for you.
A fucking leech was on the filter in my planted aquarium, and it was writhing around. It's on my Instagram story today, which obviously this is airing tomorrow. It might still be on, depending on how early you're listening. But
I remember it wiggling around.
Like,
it really wasn't moving in the beginning, and then all of a sudden,
and then it goes,
wow. It was thrashing around like a fish out of water.
Because it was suffocating. So it was like trying to find water. It was like rapidly trying to do whatever it could to find water or blood. And it could smell my blood.
Oh my God, why didn't you put it in a pitcher plant?
I couldn't try. It couldn't be trusted to be living. I had to smush it. I took paper towel. I even took the paper towel and threw it out in the garbage can.
I thought you were
outside.
saying I even lit it on fire.
I should have. I was too traumatized. But anyway, that's the most horrifying thing. Anyway, who wants to go next?
What about you? Does anything come to mind for you, Sam?
Well, I don't know if I can necessarily follow that.
I can't either.
Anything from the family greenhouse, because
I was just going to say that. Lots of worms and bugs, obviously.
those tomato bugs make me want to die. They're so gross.
But this isn't like a bug, or like it's not like gross, but it's just more like So family has obviously had the greenhouse for a long time. They have a lot of really old ways. I have some plants that I've got from my family. And one day, Brandon and I don't even remember what we were repotting, but when we dumped it out, there was like crushed Trulies in the bottom or something like that my mom put in the bottom because the pot didn't have any drainage holes. So she crushed a bunch of cans.
That is scary.
And they were in the bottom. And so when Brandon and I dumped it out, it was just like clink, clink, clink. And we're like, wait, what?
It was bizarre.
So that happened. And I, even though it was intentional, those lace wings, I'm not over it yet.
Okay,
even though we put them there.
I lied. That was my spooky ookiest thing, is when you were just dipping your claws. Samantha does have fake nails, so they're literal claws. Dipping them into rice husks filled with fucking bugs and just dribbling them. And she's like, la-di-da.
Like she's feeding the birds.
And literally like throwing breadcrumbs And I'm just sitting there like.
Instead of telling me, he's just watching it happen. And then after I complete the distribute.
After you're covered in mites.
I can't talk. I was like, oh no, they're everywhere.
Well, because I think you were going to eat something or like you were going to touch something. And I was like, Samantha, you need to go wash your hands. And you're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, do you realize what you were just touching? Millions and millions of bugs. And she looks at me like, oh my God.
Honestly, the level of disassociation should be impressive.
I will say you had smoked a lot of the weed and
the what?
The weed.
The what?
I don't know if Apple Podcasts will ban us.
Well, it's a plant.
I mean, it's a plant-related plant stuff.
I do have my medical card.
Oh yeah, it is fully legal.
Yeah.
So I guess we talk about way worse things here.
All right, Nicole, what about you?
Oh, I don't know. I kind of remember when I found like the worms in the bottom of that pot there, that plant that I was repotting. Brandon was watching me repot a while ago.
Why am I witness to all of these things?
I don't know.
What kind of energy are you bringing around?
It's always when I was with Brandon. I don't know. Probably just the countless amount of thrips that I found.
Okay, I will say
a scary amount.
The past situations that you witness.
Oh yeah, on a daily, because I like work with plants and just be seeing them a lot. People bring them into the shop and like, what's wrong with my plant? And I'm like, take that out of here now. Like someone came in and they're like, hey, can you repot my succulents, my little succulent arrangement? I'm like, sure. And I'm like, those are mealybugs. Oh my God, that is the biggest mealybug infestation I've ever seen in my life. And I took them out individually and I'm like, okay, I'll just take them back and hose them down. That's not going to do anything because of how many there are. It's so bad. So, yeah, I put on like 2 gloves and just like threw them away after because I'm like, I can't do that. But I don't know. Nothing really scary. Sometimes there's like snails that like come in like plant shipments or whatever, or like remnants of snails, but nothing super scary.
Oh, I guess when I almost got killed at work, but I left seconds before it happened. And then I went home, and then I found slugs on my plants. And then I backed up and stepped on a dead mouse.
That had a wasp in it or something?
Yes. And then the wasp stung me because it was eating the rotting carcass of this dead mouse that I just went on. And it's just,
you honestly can't make this up.
Like, why do these things happen to me so often? It's horrifying.
Okay. Well, I have some stuff from a book that I actually bought while we were on our little tribby trip.
Where are we growing? On the road. IAS 2022. Okay. Just telling it how it is. That was the actual title. Whatever.
Would it be fun if we had like some stupid, like, I don't know, like short little like song or phrase for the talking about the trip, and it just like
we should. You're musical. You could compose a little jingle.
Probably not without dozens of copyright notices. I'm not that kind of artist. I'm a scam artist. I'm not a scammer.
I am.
That's what I was gonna say. That's Brandon.
The actual Joanne the scammer.
You don't be scamming people. You don't.
I only scam corporations and the government.
Okay, diving right in. These are excerpts. Is that the word?
Excerpts.
Excerpts from Wicked Plants by Amy Stewart. The weed that killed Lincoln's mother and other biological atrocities. So it's a lot of fun facts and some random stories. I feel
like you need to do the spooky sound over that.
Poison control centers in the United States got over 1,600 calls in 2006 related to philodendron poisoning.
What?
Isn't that crazy?
Is that okay? I'm assuming I have follow-up questions. Is that all? Is that the story?
Well, that's just like my first. That's my first like thing. And also, this book was like written back in like the mid 2000s, so that's why it references 2005, 2006. Yeah. So yeah.
Was 2006 like a year of high philodendron poisoning, or was there a reason? Why did that stand out?
I don't
or
think
is that just like
that's just probably the most recent year.
Or is that just like a fact? Like, so many people got COPD in 2022.
Well, yeah, it's a fact because it's in a plant
Samantha
book.
Fisher.
Oh, okay.
It's in a plant book about like plant atrocities, so that's probably why they pulled it.
Oh, okay. I thought there was more backstory to this.
Did
I'm
they?
just saying.
Was there like a trend where people were eating their plants or something? Like
I
the
don't know,
Tide
but I
Pods?
will say 1,600 calls for philodendron poisoning, but the most common plant that people called about for poisoning was peace lily.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. The peace lily. Did you know the Dieffenbachia can inflame your vocal cords, leaving you unable to speak if
That I did know.
consumed?
Because the reason it's called the dumb cane is because they would use it as a like way to punish slaves. and to
Enslaved
shift-
people, not slaves.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for informing me. I didn't know. But like it's bad. The history
Yeah.
of that plant's bad.
Yeah, that's also why we do not call it that, and we call it Dieffenbachia. So if you don't know how to say it, then don't keep them in your house at all. Who cares? They're not that great anyways.
Honestly, Latin terms are better.
Yeah, I just say it. Dieffenbachia, like it's spelled like Dieffenbachia, like because it can, make you die. Well, people come into the plant shop and they're like, "Oh my God, these plants can kill me." And I'm like, "Well, I mean, you'd have to eat a lot.
You chop it up and put it in your
A
salad
lot.
spinner.
Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Just munching on the stems? Like,
Yeah. So, I mean, our cats have consumed a considerable amount of these plants.
when you were in the shower, Lush was running around with the syngonium leaves, the dead ones, in her
Yeah.
mouth.
I'm not shocked. I think I did hear you just going like, "No."
Which that was my fault because I just left him on the ground and I don't have to worry about Clifford because he doesn't care about dead leaves.
Lush will eat anything leaf shaped. I can't even leave like an uncut pineapple out on the counter because Lush will jump up there and eat
Anything.
the top of it.
Well, one case in history describes a woman who developed anaphylactic shock and other frightening symptoms that disappeared promptly after her ficus tree was removed from her home. Ooh.
Wait, what's the back?
What's a what?
What's the backstory? I need more
that's
info.
it.
That's it. You guys, I'm not like, that's how it is in the book. It's just like little things. It's,
We have so many questions.
yeah, apparently, yeah, everything. They're going to be like, what next? That's all I have for you.
I thought, well, this is a thick book. I thought they'd give us like over
No,
explanations.
it's not like some of them are a bit longer, and I have them like bookmarked in here for me to go in and then read it. But
Oh, okay,
it's
but-
like,
Oh yeah, I see. They're just like short little titty bitties.
yeah, like, yeah, they're not very long.
It's like the fact of the day from Wikipedia.
Yeah, they're just little fun facts. Everyone listening is like, that's cool. And these two in front of me are like, okay, and.
Well, again, was she nibbling on it? Was she like, got to get my little bit of my ficus leaf before I go in the shower?
Anaphylactic shock. Who
Steaming it in the
knows?
shower, as I was going to say.
Who knows? Anaphylactic shock and other frightening symptoms that disappeared mysteriously. I don't know what she was doing with this ficus tree.
Also, where did that book find that information? Like, there has to be more of a
Very
backstory.
weird. Well, also this is, I believe, like UK based. You know what I mean.
The Brits are odd.
Turf Island. Sorry, sorry, people that live there, but probably not.
Actually,
because you're probably a turf.
We do peak on the UK charts quite a
Oh.
bit.
Hello, friends in the UK. Oh, we're just some silly Americans over here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Unfortunately.
think we peaked like number 19 on the UK charts before.
Well, speaking of the USA, a woman in Southern California tried to collect her husband's life insurance policy by putting oleander leaves in his food, which can, kill you.
Put oleander leaves in my food, please. I'm over this.
Oh, I should have put a trigger warning. Please don't use any of this as advice as to how to delete yourself from the world. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, I need to start saying that. I want to delete myself. That's
It's-
much more.
Yeah.
That's much.
And I
It's
think
a
that's
little better.
and it's also a lot easier than trying to come up with really graphic.
Yeah, because Brandon
things.
talks about offing himself quite often, but just
It
says,
is-
I want to kill myself.
It's truly my catchphrase, which it shocks strangers and it worries my friends.
I don't think it's just some silly, goofy thing. I think you need help. You're getting it. Whitney's working
Whitney.
overtime.
Every single time Mom was like, hey, Brandon, do you want to talk about it? Where are you feeling it in your body?
Here's a little PSA on hydrangeas. They're sometimes used as a cake topper, and although poisonings are rare, the flowers contain low levels of cyanide, and symptoms of ingesting them include vomiting, headache, and muscle weakness. So don't eat hydrangeas, okay?
My coworker was going to bring me dried hydrangeas, but the frost came in too early and killed all the flowers.
That's so bad. I thought Sam was going to attack you.
I was worried. I was like, I'm about to be deleted.
I just wanted to hit the button.
And mind you, Samantha is on the couch like
she had to
5 feet away.
Jump off the couch and get in Brandon's
and
face.
The way she Spider-Man down, press the button, and then Spider-Man back to her seat just casually. She's just sitting there like nothing happened.
There's so many springs on this couch. I really can like launch.
It is very boingy.
Violet is up. She's awake over there.
And mind you, shout out to our producers, Violet, Lush, and King.
I know. I was just saying we need to introduce them by name. We also didn't really tell people who Sam is. We just kind of assumed they were going to know.
Oh, yeah. Sam has been on the podcast, so if you're an avid listener.
Hello.
And if you don't know, Sam is one half of Monstera Plant Co. with Brandon.
It is getting a little weird that they're...
What's weird?
Okay, so you two are obviously not used to, but it happens. People recognize you.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh my goodness, hello. I see you on... That doesn't happen to me. But now it's happening.
And we got to tell people what
Well,
we
you're
did
becoming
the
quite
other
the
night.
local celebrity.
It's
Sam's, she's a busy beaver.
at the Tonkadale event, Coffee with Plants was like, can I have a picture with you guys? And I was like, wait, like me too? I'm like shocked every time it happens. I was like, wait, you know who I am? I was like, oh.
We didn't tell people about like what we went and did last week and how we got clobbered.
Oh my God, yes. Let's please.
Yeah, we got to take a
Take
teeny little break from the spooky stuff to talk about how we got murdered in houseplant trivia.
I was going to say this is equally spooky.
It is scary. It's scary because we went to houseplant trivia. I was feeling confident. Brandon was like, we're going to fucking suck. And I'm like, no, we're going to be great, especially when we walked in and they
Nicole
were like...
she had every hope we were going to take home that crown. And by crown, it would have been a bottle of wine that I would have consumed.
Yeah.
Which, when they said that was the prize, I was like, I hope we win. But I know.
He's like, okay, now I'm ready.
In that moment, I was like, oh, okay. But we walked in, and when the team who actually won saw us, they were like, oh, there's our competition. There's our competition.
Yeah, they're all
Little
worried.
did they know. These people are smart as hell. Professor Smart. Yeah, like the smartest plant people in town.
And we talked to some of them at the plant event the next day, and they were like, yeah, like everyone had like the reason we did so well is like this person knew so much about this and this person knew so much about that. And we had a really well-rounded team. And here we are, the three Stooges.
Sam knew pineapple, okay?
I was pretty impressed. I was like, thank you.
It was some pretty ridiculous questions. Like when they were like, okay, what's the national orchid of Panama? You've got to be fucking kidding me.
And they were getting it right. I was like,
they were getting all these right.
Okay, there were 32 questions. There were 2 bonus questions.
Which I have beef about the bonus questions still. I'm still pissed.
They were both about Star Trek.
Are you kidding me?
One of which I should have known the answer because my mom's favorite Star Trek episode. The Trouble About Tribbles.
No, but you should have known the Leonard Nimoy one too.
That one I should have known because I knew his name. But
I at least got the character. I just didn't know the...
You did. He gave us a half point for that. Right. Thank God.
Thank you.
He had me thinking I had it right because you remember he was like, are you sure you don't want to write it down? And I was like, okay, I wrote it down again. He was like, oh, no, that's not it. And I was like, okay. When I wrote down Will Wheaton, that's all I could think of. I'm sorry.
Also, I cannot wait for the memes about this episode.
Oh my gosh! Shout out to was it Green Plants or Green Plants Orange Cat?
Yes.
Orange Cat Green Plants. Oh, y'all are the best. But we went to this. I had confidence. Brandon was like whatever, and I just left pissed off.
You should have, when we got home and Nicole was like venting to Brenna about it, she was like, I cannot believe that.
I was looking at pictures because they were describing, King, can you get out of my clothes?
No pieces.
He wants to sit in the bag.
I was describing, like, the way they were describing some of these plants as, like, pointy edges. No.
It sounded like a begonia.
Yeah, like, they're making, like, describing what these plants look like, and they to us, we wouldn't have used these adjectives at all. So, yeah, it was a little frustrating. But we got some of them. And
we got 17 out of 32. We did not get 27 out of 32.
Still a big fat F. Big fat F.
But seriously, the second category when they're like orchids and cacti, we were like, great. They were like,
yeah, because the first one was like plants around the world, and like thankfully we didn't have to guess where these were from because that I would have been fucked. But he was like, it was either like guess the common name of this plant or guess the scientific name of this common plant name, whatever.
And here's all your hints. So we got a couple. We got most of them.
The one I'm most salty about is the jade plant.
When I knew it was fucking jade, I was like, I wonder if it's jade.
As soon as you said that, I was like, oh my, you're right.
Because he said it was called money tree, and I've never heard jade being called a money tree at all. So that was frustrating. And then just like random plants that I don't really think about the scientific name of like
A lipstick plant.
A lipstick plant,
And
bird of paradise.
And he was like, oh, the lipstick plant one. He's like, when you hear this, you'll be like, oh I should have known that.
Which, like,
it was like it should have been like Dior 999 Elastica.
Okay,
like, no.
Also, though, when he clue
said
was
you could grow it in a window.
Okay,
that was
which
his
is
fucking clue.
So generic, but mine is up in my window. And that's why I was like, damn, I was trying to think of all the plants in my window because I was like, well, what are the chances?
We were
and
like,
one of them actually
in our
was.
brain, we were combing through Home Depot in the plant section, just like, what are these generic plants that we can't think
Which
of?
I don't think I've ever seen a lipstick plant at Home Depot.
I have. Even just like,
My memory
remember
is much
they
worse.
asked us for the scientific name for staghorn fern, which I believe is platyserum, but we couldn't think of that in the moment. I had no clue.
I was
Couldn't
like,
tell you.
Not me.
So, yep, just random stuff. Brandon was like, I don't know any cacti. And then the one that we got wrong is the one that you have, fucking Christmas cactus or whatever.
I feel like out of the 10 questions, it was like Thanksgiving, Easter, Christmas cactus. Like, why didn't we
and
just...
thankfully we got the vanilla one right. I didn't even know that vanilla was an orchid. Did y'all know that?
Yeah, that's why I was the one who had that answer because I knew it. Because I watched a documentary at my grandparents' house about the vanilla orchid mafia.
Oh my God.
all the spooky things today.
Should we get back into it?
Yeah.
We did get third place, by the way, though, out of 5 or 6 teams.
6. And then one of them left early.
Yeah. Not our best work. Not our worst.
You know, yeah.
This is just facts that we don't know everything. So when people ask us questions, I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Well, we got the care, we got the conditions, but we don't got the scientific names.
No.
Or
where they're from.
Or what country. Like, I'm like, well, Nicole did know the Minnesota.
I did know the
cacti.
Minnesota. No. I did not know the cactus one.
We got that one wrong. But
we got that one wrong. The Minnesota state flower, which I did not know was an orchid, but I did know it was a lady slipper.
When you first wrote it down, I thought it said lady sipper, and I laughed so hard, and then I realized it was slipper, and I was like, less funny.
Y'all are both lady sippers. I am unfortunately a man sipper.
Oh my God.
I'm going to hit that button again. That's also...
Man sippers.
Yikes.
Oh my God. So, bad news for you, Sam. Not really bad news.
I was like,
you
oh,
know,
no.
You know this anyways. But the author was asked, I actually read this on the website. This wasn't in the book. I went on the website of
Oh,
this
were they
book.
like, here's the updated version and more stories?
So what I was really bummed about is she was like, go to this website, it'll have all this stuff. And it did not have all this stuff. But I did find a little interview. And the author was asked, in her opinion, what the deadliest plant is. Do you have any guesses?
The flower that was on Ginny in Georgia. She poisoned her old husband with it or something.
Tobacco. She said the deadliest plant.
Not wrong, though. Not wrong.
She said deadliest plant is tobacco just because of how many people it kills.
That's not, well, I will say, if you're just smoking regular tobacco, yes, you're not going to die. But it's cigarettes with tobacco, with all the other stuff, you know. But who smokes just straight tobacco? I'm sure it's disgusting.
Not a fan. Also, I feel like it's been a while since I've had a real cigarette, but I do freak. Like yesterday when that lady was talking so loudly, I looked at Brandon and I was like, I want a cigarette.
I will say, Mom, I know you're going to listen to this at some point. I'm very proud of you. She hasn't had a cigarette since June.
She's probably smoking.
Claps.
Listen to this right now. Sorry, Lisa.
Well, I keep telling her, eat your edibles. They're so much more fun.
Yeah, but it's probably that instant thing. You know, I feel it. You know, you
For me, it's not even like the naked. It's more of like a stimming thing.
Oh yeah, I always.
I have
always.
a 0% oral fixation. I have a tactile fixation. Got to touch everything. Touch. Nicole, I touched her hand. She like recoiled immediately.
More spooky things. Bing bang.
We should have. This episode title is going to be like, listen to the three of us wheeze for an hour.
That's a good thing I went to the bathroom. I said I'm going to be laughing. I'm going to pee my pants.
My hand-eye coordination is not very good.
Well, I was confused where it came from because it was lit up blue, like it was doing the scary one.
The started. Then it was like bing bong. Then it went back to too much.
Oh my gosh. Random weird fun facts related to marijuana. Early drafts, which this is Hippocratic, all of you, the United States. Early drafts of the Declaration of Independence were written on hemp paper.
I think I did know that.
I think I did know that too. That sounds like a familiar fact.
Written on hemp paper.
Because I'm pretty sure back in the day, like hemp was like a huge industry, and I think I learned this in history class growing up.
Dang.
Yeah, they made everything with it: clothes, paper,
all the stuff. Wow, those are the good old days where they no, they weren't.
I'm the only one old enough to know how it was like back then.
You 30-some-year-old.
I've seen some things.
So, fun fact, and this is what I'm saying, you guys. I'm giving you guys a lot of information. I'm not telling you to go and run with it, just at your own discretion.
This is a spooky Ooky episode. Spooky Ooky episode.
Spooky
He's
Ooky
blending
eye.
words again.
God.
Oh, also, fun fact, and not to interject, I just have ADHD. Leave me alone.
I know. I wasn't. I was looking at you out of like what?
The name, the International Aeroid Society just put this out. I don't know if you saw it. It is not Philodendron UPI. It's Philodendron X UPI. And it's, I don't really know. They explained why, but it just didn't really make sense to me.
Yeah.
Wait, how?
X usually means like hybrid / like we don't think that this is like the true like something made this plant most likely, and we don't know everything about it. So yeah.
But the guy who found it, his name was Yoop.
Yeah.
That was his first name. Yoop.
Yeah.
I thought you said it was going to be spooky, so I was expecting like some crazy
No, I just
story.
said it was a fun fact.
Oh,
well, I have a spooky fact. Well, it's not that spooky, but the opium poppy is the only Schedule II narcotic that you can find at a nursery or enjoy in your flower bed. Ooh, the opium poppy.
Because you can like, oh my God, it didn't
It's
click.
all coming back to you.
Well, I knew that it was bad technically and like blah, 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 blah. But like, okay. So Sam, maybe you know this. Maybe Nicole, you know this. I don't know this. How do you take a poppy seed and turn it into a drug?
I don't know. Breaking Bad.
Because honestly,
I'm not Walter White.
I feel like, again, opium as a child was something that I felt like I was going to encounter a lot. Like I was just going to be,
I was going to, like, I'm going to eat this poppy seed muffin. Am I going to fail a drug test?
Well, I mean that, but like I thought I was going to encounter a lot more opium dens in my adulthood, and I have not encountered one. But honestly, I will say of all the drugs that people do, opium seems like the one that I would enjoy the most. You're just sitting there like, oh.
I don't think I've ever had any of these thoughts of like, I'm going to just fall into opium dens.
This is a kind of anxiety I didn't realize I had as a child.
Talking about intrusive thoughts.
I need to talk about this with Whitney tomorrow.
Oh my God. Unless she's unavailable all the time.
Whitney, please don't cancel. We got a lot to talk about. I'm going to email her a list at 8 a.m. before your appointment.
Please don't. I want us to both keep Whitney.
Last week I did wear my Welcome Back to Plant Talk sweatshirt, but I was in my comfort of my own bed where I always do therapy. So
I don't wear long sleeves or pants during therapy because I sweat too much. And if I wore long sleeves or pants, I would just be wet.
I have to because of the tears.
Yeah,
that's like.
What do you mean?
It's like an extra.
It's a napkin.
The sleeve is an extra tissue. That's why all of my.
I just do
if
this.
I don't, that's why a lot of my shirts will have like a random dark stain around the collar.
I always wear a black shirt.
Yeah, mascara all around the. You know the first? I feel like the sad people out there, they get me. You know, you're wearing a new sweatshirt. And of course, you just have to have a meltdown day one in that sweatshirt, and you wipe your eyeball, and then boom, there's your makeup streak on your new sweatshirt. You fucked it up,
and then you cry even harder.
Yeah, and you're like, God, I suck.
Okay, so my first girlfriend, Cherie, Samantha here, it was my last girlfriend, but my first girlfriend, Cherie, shout out to Cherie if you're listening, love you.
That's an interesting name.
But she had a cry pillow. It was like a little round pillow, and I don't think that it came out. Like, I think it was like, all put together. Like, you couldn't take the case off. And so it just had like mascara streaks on it. Oh. Just tons of mascara streaks. And honestly, and back then I didn't cry very much because I was fully masked up. Mask on mask on mask.
You're like, what feeling?
But it was on thick. I saw right straight through it, though.
Yeah, you
Sorry
did.
for breaking your heart.
You did. But now that I am, now that I've taken all the masks off and I can't stop the tears, you guys saw me crying yesterday. I cried like 15 times.
Yeah, I feel like Brandon was like, I don't know, it was just like the littlest things are setting you up.
Literally, I was just like sobbing in the car. But like now, like I have mascara on right now. I want to cry so I can wipe it on a pillow and see all my mascara stains. I don't know. It just seems really fulfilling, like to see how much you cry.
What an interesting thing to say.
I'm also like, I could make you cry. I can make you fucking cry real fast.
I mean, anyone could make me cry.
I just need to leave the house and Brandon will start crying.
Literally.
And I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you? I'm
like,
such a good friend.
Oh, yeah. When you were like, yeah, I think I don't want to stay over here today. And then you went back to your home or went somewhere else. And Brandon was like, I've been abandoned.
No, because I forgot something. So I came back in the house and he's crying.
I got caught. Like,
caught in 4K?
And I was like,
I'm sobbing on the couch.
I was like, are you crying?
Wait, and then you left again? You left
I was like,
I did not know that you walked in and you saw him crying, and then you were still like, okay, bye.
I was like, you'll be fine.
Here's your hug. Toodaloo.
I just wanted to sleep in my own bed.
We feel that.
And that's how I know I'm autistic.
Yeah, because you were like, it doesn't upset me as much as it seems.
And then I walk back inside and he's just sitting on the couch in silence, just crying, staring at.
Oh my God. I can't with y'all. Back to the spooky. Let's talk about Morning Glory, shall we?
Oh my God, Morning Glory. I think that's the flower on Ginny in Georgia. Did either of you watch Ginny in Georgia?
No.
She's like gardening her. She has like a planted garden up on the second floor, and the neighbors see her and they're like, that's a Morning Glory. She's like, water, cut. Put in the tea. Poison my husband. At least I think that's what happened. That show came out so long ago. Season 2 was supposed to be out literally earlier this year.
Well, I'm almost on rewatching New Girl for the 10th time, so I'll put that on next.
Like, hey, that's Morning Glory.
Hey, Morning Glories.
I was just gonna say, hey, Clifford. Oh my God. Morning Glory. Let's get through this without crying.
I am currently crying.
No one's surprised.
Morning Glory seeds contain small quantities of lysergic acidamide. I don't know what that is. Which may produce an LSD-like trip if eaten in large quantity.
Let's do it.
Okay, it definitely wasn't Morning Glory. Jimmy in Georgia, he died.
The seeds are popular amongst teenagers who either chew them or soak them in water to make tea.
How do they know this?
Okay,
like,
but
I feel like
This really broke my heart a little bit. I felt for these old ladies at the shop. Okay. Recent news reports indicate that many owners of garden centers are unaware of the trend and had been selling seed packets to teenagers in hopes that young people were starting to show an interest in gardening.
Damn it!
I know this will make you feel so bad, you fucking children. Fuck you, kids. Come on. Y'all suck. So sad. Kids who consume the seeds have been hospitalized with dangerously high heart rates and frightening hallucinations.
what a treat.
Sounds like karma. Oh my God.
Traumatize the sweet old garden ladies.
I know, they were just like, oh my God, they're just trying to grow their little morning glories. No, they're trying to get messed up. Messed up on the seed.
Technically not illegal, I suppose.
Yeah, they're about to, y'all. You're going to ruin the fun. That's how we got rid of weed, I'm sure. No, that was the war on drugs.
Thank God Tide Pods didn't go away because I hate pouring that shit.
Oh my God. Okay, before we come back to this book, because I have some just like random poison garden recommendations in case people want them. We have some more random plant facts. Do you guys think plants can feel pain? Brandon, get off your phone.
I'm pulling up seeing if we have any reviews. Anyway,
I'm not done. I'm not done.
I know. I'm just being preemptive. Anyway, we all know plants scream.
Okay, yeah, but do you think they feel pain?
Absolutely.
They're a living thing.
It says, well, they don't have pain receptors, which, by the way, this is from, there's someone who does, like, terrifying plant news. Their on TikTok is Bear Bait Official. They're molecular biologists on TikTok.
Why don't I follow them?
I don't know. They're not planty. They just kind of started talking about this terrifying plant news. There's not that many videos.
So, like,
but
opposite of other people who talk about plants and then they talk about anything.
yeah, so...
Okay.
And there's actually people in the comments are being kind of mean. They're like, stick to molecular biology. Like, all the plant people are like, actually, and being, little assholes. So, plants do not have pain receptors, but they are able to detect damage and can increase their production of toxins accordingly.
Oh.
Yeah, probably because they're going into like defense mode because they're injured.
They're like, I'm going to get more toxic, like Gemini mode or something.
That's rude.
Did you say that's rude?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot Sam's a Gemini. I don't know. I just tried to think of a just random zodiac sign. But
It's okay. I get it a lot.
we did learn this, Brandon. I wrote this down, but we did go into a little exhibit about this. But plants technically do scream when they're cut. In the video, the person's like, if a tree falls in the forest, and if anyone's around, like, do they hear it or not? And she's like, well, they probably scream, so you would hear.
It was intense. We were like reading through it and we're like, oh my God.
As Brandon goes in with his nails and my plants and his
I'm like,
shopping.
well, those are dead leaves, but
So it's they technically scream when they're cut. It's an ultrasonic squeal that may be heard by some insects.
spider mites, they hear it and they're like,
Oh, they like it. They're like, yum, 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 yum.
planting pain, don't mind if I do.
We can't hear it, but some microphones can. Isn't that kind of crazy?
That is
It's like Paranormal Mike's Demi Lovato.
What?
Paranormal
Why are you
Explorer.
bringing up Poot?
Because she had a show where she explored the she literally would go into haunted houses and like look for aliens. She had a whole show. It was on the Sci-Fi Network.
I was just about to.
It was her
Demi
and
Lovato is they them, but I just remember they took it back.
Yeah, she's back to she. Anyway, and like her little gay best friend, you know, who's like on all the documentaries, and he's like, I'm Demi Lovato's best friend / kind of manager. They were like the main hosts.
Oh my god!
And then she'd be on like the Emmy red carpet or like the Grammy red carpet, and she'd be like, yeah, don't listen to my music. Watch my show about aliens.
What the?
Well, no, she wouldn't call them aliens. She said that was racist. You had to call them extraterrestrials.
Oh, I do. I remember this. This is all coming back to me. People clowning on Demi Lovato. Yep.
You used to love Demi. Demi, you were my fave, but you got really weird.
She had a drug
I
problem.
was like, she's just probably going through a hard time.
Yeah, she had an eating disorder and drug problem.
I don't know.
And probably almost went into some like old Britney Spears thing.
I don't know if I've
Coping
told you
skills.
this.
Not
but
always healthy.
So you know, well, actually, you both met her.
Who?
My friend Lauren.
Okay, with the dog.
No,
It's okay.
was at my birthday.
Okay. Yes.
I'm just like not trying to incriminate anyone. Like Lauren. I came home, sobbed. It was a whole thing. Anyway, she's my savior, but her sister.
What are you talking about?
Well, like, remember how traumatic my birthday was? Like, you went home, you weren't there because you had a headache, and trauma ensued at the bar at the end of the night. And then I came home and I like woke Lauren up because she wasn't drinking, so she went home early. And I was like, Lauren,
Okay.
wake up! This trauma happened, and I'm just trying to like be like, this is who that was.
Okay.
Anyway, her sister lives in New York City, and honestly, I will probably get Hollywood will come for me for telling you this. Have I not told you either of you this?
I don't know what you're trying to do.
I don't know. I was like, I have no idea where he's going with this.
Okay.
I'm trying to fill in the gaps.
I'm struggling. My Adderall is long worn off. Anyway,
I didn't even take mine
I
today.
didn't take mine today
I'm doing
either.
better.
so you're healed by the goodness of the God.
I'm healed. It was all that Tylenol.
Long story short. Anyway, so Lauren's sister lived in New York City, and she was friends with this guy, and they were like I don't think they were BFFs, but they would like hang out pretty frequently. Do you know who he was?
Was it Rex Orange County?
I don't know who that is.
Oh my god.
But maybe.
Okay.
Anyway,
What?
he was the backup dancer for Demi Lovato who gave her the drugs.
Oh, that's
And now Hollywood is going to come for me. I'm kidding.
I'm pretty sure that's in her documentary.
No, it's not. She like actually really protected who it was, because then when I heard this story, and then I did me and Lauren did some intense fucking creeping. We were like,
He doesn't
one day
even notice.
the TV just turned off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Roku. It turns off after 60 minutes of inactivity. Do you have a Roku? This is your Roku.
I was like, we're in my apartment. I'm fully aware.
Anyway, we connected the dots. It was true. It was wild.
You're such a great story.
Anyways, it was wild.
I think you give such a good preamble, and then when you hit the punch, I'm expecting like I don't know what I'm expecting.
I was distracted.
I think that we prefaced I think we spent too much time explaining who Lauren was.
That was true. I was explaining it to our listeners as
You could have
if
said my friend's sister, and I wouldn't have pressed any further.
yeah, I just whatever. Anyway, next story.
Oh my gosh. Well, the next one of the videos I watched was about, are plants conscious? Which is different than like, do they feel pain? But are plants conscious?
Again, I think yes.
But some people are really crazy. Sorry if y'all hear the plane nearby that might crash into the building. We'll see.
One can only hope.
Sorry.
Deleted.
The first
We are
time.
murdering this sound.
The first time I had my windows open while living here and a plane went over, I like ducked. I was like, there's a plane landing in the backyard.
And by the way, there was no backyard, just an alley.
A lot of people get really crazy and argue about like the definition of being conscious. I'm pretty sure that in one of my like classes, one of my psychology classes, we were thumping around about this for way too damn long. But basically the video concluded that they are aware of their surroundings and can communicate to some degree. I mean, they can communicate with each other of like, hey, there's something eating me. And some plants can even like tell the difference between like a caterpillar chewing on them and like the wind blowing and people talking. Like they can distinguish those different sounds and know when it's like danger and not danger.
Well, mine can't. They're all idiots. They're like, oh, I got spider mites. Here you go, friend. Enjoy.
Yeah, it's like, let me just pass it along.
A little bit for me.
Sharing is caring. Yeah, they're really polite.
It's like a spider mite den. It's like their version of opium.
Oh my God. Brandon's starting the new like pandemic.
I was gonna say, do we need to talk about something? Are you okay? You seemed unusually excited about opium. How can I make the seeds? How do we do it?
Yeah, Brandon's like, let's do it.
I always thought of myself as just stumbling upon.
I think it's a.
Like, I thought I would have stumbled upon opium by now, but it hasn't happened. So
not just opium.
I think it's again one of my autistic tendencies. An expectation I had in life never got fulfilled.
The amount of trigger warnings you're gonna have to put on this episode.
It's just getting uploaded. There's no trigger warnings. You get trigger warnings as you go. Trigger warning. If you've made it this far, we appreciate you.
If you make it this far, we're not financially responsible for any
we don't do opium,
bills.
so like it's on you if you choose to.
You're on your own. Damn it. Damn it.
Let's talk about water hemlock.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
My favorite plant.
So this plant resembles wild carrots and wild parsnips. So just
Love
so
a
you
good
know.
wild parsnip.
If consumed, water hemlock can have a paralyzing effect similar to tetanus, and you will die from not being able to breathe with a smile on your face.
That is horrifying. That is the most horrifying fact.
Again,
Of the night.
I have backup questions. First of all, you look like the smiley face killer. You know, like, but like what? Okay, when we talk to so we're doing part 2 with Che Flora sometime soon. We need to ask her about these poison chemicals because I bet she would have a little bit of knowledge to explain the backstory of these stories where they don't give us a backstory.
Apparently, it's how Socrates died.
The reason I am wheezing is because Nicole had a smile while she said that entire thing. Her lips barely moved, but there was a giant smile. Creepy as fuck.
And that's it.
This is giving me, what's that movie / book / true life event that happened? Like where he goes out and lives in the woods and then lives off the berries because he has no food. And then
Naked and Afraid?
No. No. It's
And he lives in like a bus.
he lives in the bus.
And the bears.
I want to say Into the Woods, and that's not right. That's a musical.
Running
Into
Wild
the thick of it.
Into the Wild.
No, Running Wild with Bear Grylls.
No.
Whatever happened to Bear Grylls? I haven't heard about
He
him.
still has a show. We just don't have cable.
Into the Wild. Not Into the Woods. Into the Wild. Have you never seen that?
I don't think so.
It was a weird movie.
I really liked it. I mean, it's a true story. That's why I like it. I like true stories.
I don't. Sometimes I stray away from the true things because I'm like, then I'm going to convince myself that that's actually going to happen to me or something, you know? If it's actually true.
No, I will never go hiking in a desert cavern because of, what was it, 145 hours with James Franco?
Yeah. Yep.
Traumatizing. Traumatism.
When he cuts his arm off or leg.
Leg.
Are you sure it was an arm?
I don't know. Whatever. I don't want to know. My brain is like really, it's foggy.
It was a leg.
I watched a lot of movies
I feel
in
like
my
it was a fucking arm. This is gonna bother me.
Okay, but Into the Wild, he runs out of food, so he's eating berries, and he like misidentified one of them and ate a poisonous one.
But was he a little gay? Was he a little fruity?
No, he had a girlfriend and broke up with her because he was going to go to college, and then he's like, "Fuck corporate America, I'm going to go live."
Move it to Alaska.
Yeah, he just drove around, living his best life.
I just remember watching that movie and thinking, this is a gay icon. But then he got real
I think
crazy.
you were just probably attracted to him. In
Was it Heath
fantasy.
Ledger?
No,
Who played him?
it was absolutely not.
I thought you were going to say it was Avril Lavigne. I was like, oh, I need to
That'd be an interesting.
redo my priorities.
We all knew that already.
Nicole is vigorously researching all of these movies.
It was a fucking arm.
It was an arm.
It was a right arm. I just remember because like it was really scary because he only had his one other arm to like do things and like.
Oh yeah, and he was using like his mouth a lot to like tie.
Yeah, he
that checks
couldn't.
out.
Yeah.
I would have like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I would have lost because I would have been so confident in like for like $100.
That's why here's the thing is this is my hypothetical scenarios. I think someday I am going to be on a show and every time it's like I wonder if or I wonder what the answer to that is. I have to look it up. I have to know. Cuz like what if I need to know the answer to that question and it's just going to haunt me that I never got it right, you know. So you just gotta know.
Understand that on a personal level. Like I need to know everything always, but that also could be because I'm a Gemini, but
I have a spooky oogie story.
You have a spooky oogie story.
It's not necessarily plant related. I'm sure there were plants because there's plants everywhere. But okay.
Are there?
So you all know Spooky Lake Month, correct?
Yes, love Geo.
I hear
I
the
love Geo.
second I hear Spooky Lake Month, I'm like, slam that like button.
Yes, hello.
Literally. Oh my God. I love her.
I literally have been trying to think of a reason to have her on the podcast because
we should. I have interacted with her before, so I should reach out and just
what
say,
are we going to talk about?
native lake plants.
Okay.
He was so ready
plants
for that
of the Great Lake.
answer.
I don't know if she knows a whole lot about plants of the Great Lakes.
No, she knows a shit ton about the plants of the Great Lake.
Well, I know that she knows in general a lot about the Great Lakes. I don't know what plants.
I guarantee. We won't have any questions. We'll just say, talk, and we will make questions up on the fly.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so this was honestly
Another preamble.
She rated this 8 out of 10 spookies. I think it's 10 out of 10 spookies. So there was a giant ice shelf in the Antarctic. And if you're on TikTok, you've seen this, but whatever. Anyway, so it broke off, and it was the largest floating object on Earth. Largest floating object on Earth.
I feel like I remember reading this.
And it was like 52 miles across or something. And there was this Gorgina, smart woman scientist who was like, I don't care if we're going to the edges of the Earth. I want to explore it. She goes, I think there's caverns
I remember
in
hearing this
50-foot or 50-mile floating object. And so they went under, and there was only it was going to the bottom of the ocean. There was only 3 feet, and they just like dived. They're swimming in 3 feet. It's like if there's a big wave and this whole thing comes down, you're just to the bottom of the ocean. And they were like, oh, there's caverns. There must be like, because there's runoff water coming down, and then there must be like holes, and we can like go through these caverns.
Didn't they feel it like?
And so they went into the caverns. They were there. And then it was rumbling and creaking and blah, 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 whatever. And like
turn around.
This fills me with dread. Like, can you,
That sounds
like,
horrifying.
what type of person is like, yes, I'm going to go into a floating cave that is just like creaking, croaking, could combust at any moment. And they're just like, yeah, this is cool. We're doing it. And then there was a hole in her wetsuit in her hand, and she lost function of her left hand. Sorry, I hit my glass. Anyway. And so then it got blocked off, and they're like, shit, we got to turn around. And as they're exiting the cave and getting into the boat, the entire thing collapses, and all the caves they were in go away. And they were the first and last people to ever explore these underwater caves in the largest floating ice shelf in the world. Spooky Ooky.
So
Spooky.
did they die?
No, they.
Okay, you didn't make that clear.
I was like, so.
Well, I said they all got on the boat. I don't know. Anyway, it's very spooky. But there's a lot of life underneath this iceberg.
Look at King sitting on that.
He is our producer. At least he
said, "Pack it up, get out."
At least he's not mashing the keys like Cece. She's like,
Yes.
bing bong, bing bong.
Yeah. I feel like Kaya was also almost like gonna walk over it last time she was, face to face.
Anyway, do we have any more spooky ooky plant stories after
That's
I did my
all.
spooky ooky iceberg story?
I think that's what I have on my list, but I do have some recommendations for y'all if you are in any of these areas and want to check out some poisonous plants, okay? In England, you can go to the Allenwick Poison Gardens. In Italy, there's the Botanical Garden of Padua. Padua? Padua? I don't know. London, there is the Chelsea Physic Garden. And these aren't just like all poisonous plants. These are places that like have poisonous plants there. They usually have them all together in one area. In Canada, we've got the Montreal Botanical Gardens. They've got some poisonous plants there. In Philadelphia, we've got the Mutter Museum. And then New York at Cornell University, there is the W.C. Muencher Poisonous Plants Garden.
Oh. Where are we growing? Hits the road, New York City, baby.
I really am like, are we going to go over that way? Or are we going to go over to like California? Because like I want to check out California carnivores and like all of the people over in California and the PNW.
David suggested we make a stop at BravoCon next year after our trip.
What? Stop it. What? What are you talking about?
Where all the housewives, they air out their drama in front of everyone.
God, you guys are so gay. I still have not gotten on the Real Housewives.
Me
but
either.
I did. I got the Peacock TV and I saw they've got the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and I feel like the Mormon people.
I can't wait to watch Salt Lake City. I haven't watched any of it,
I
and I know
feel
it's going to be
like
good.
A lot of people on TikTok talk about it, and while I'm not like obsessed with the Mormons, I feel like I made it clear that I like the ex-Mos, the ex-Mormons, ex-Mo talk. Yeah, ex-Mormons when they're talking about all the things. But I feel like Mormon housewives, that's going to be a sight to see.
Jen Shaw, she goes to jail.
What?
Yeah, she for like federal fraud. I don't know who she is or what she did. She was a marketing firm.
Well, I'm pretty sure the FLDS owns like one of the biggest like news organizations.
Yeah, they own most of the news organizations. I'm pretty sure they own like the big one.
We're gonna get a cease and desist from the FLDS.
One could only hope.
I don't want them knocking on my door. I would rather have anybody else knocking on my door besides FLDS.
You're like, please, 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 Jehovah's Witnesses, come to my door.
That would happen to me all the time in Milwaukee.
They would come all the time.
I've never had religious people knocking on my door.
No,
Always.
they used to come to my neighborhood growing up, and then West Dallas. Those are the two places I would always see them.
Oh, well, sounds like people need Jesus over there.
And in Eau Claire, they would come because I lived in that bougie apartment building that had like the nice intercom system, and they would leave voicemails. They knew it would leave voicemails, so they'd call every single apartment. Just if they didn't get let in, they'd send one person, the other person would keep going, calling them.
What the hell?
And then I would get voicemails on my phone. It was like, hi, this is so-and-so from the Jehovah's Witness. So I really just hope you really love Jesus Christ. Well, I don't. Jehovah. And what? I don't know. I don't really know. Anyway.
Brandon's skipping world religion.
Well, I will say, I don't think podcasts are allowed in the Jehovah's Witness world, so I'm not too worried.
I just got deep in, I don't know, some TikTok spiral about cults, and there was a lot of, as Nicole says, ex-Mos.
Ex-Mos.
And Jehovah's Witness is also a cult. I watched the whole documentary.
It was so interesting. I was like, I can't stop watching.
It's a lot. I don't need another hyperfixation, though, because right now I am on court.
Nicole is stressed with how spread she is with her hyperfixations. But I will say, Judge Jenny is her hyperfixation, which honestly,
if you guys are watching this Daryl Brooks trial, which like y'all, he's the one
Spooky
who
Dooky.
spiraled through the fucking Christmas parade in Waukesha,
of which I know multiple people who saw people go flying through the air.
Yeah. Not funny. I'm not laughing.
I lived in Milwaukee at the time, but I was not at the Waukesha parade because I dated too many people from Waukesha and never again.
But yeah, he killed 6 people and injured like 61 others or something. Oh my God, we sat there forever while Judge Jenny was reading off the counts. Oh my God.
Judge Jenny is a queen.
Yeah, so if you
Patience.
guys have seen any of these clips, and Brandon knows now, like this man isn't just like a little crazy.
I literally, when Nicole was telling me all about this, because like I don't follow much. I'm pretty.
That is a lie.
Okay, I follow the Real Housewives. I follow.
Brandon doesn't really have time to be like up to date to every detail on a lot of things.
And so when Nicole was talking about it, I was like, this man is trying to come off as he's a crazy person. He's trying to get off being crazy. No,
it's authentic.
it's authentic.
He
Out of his
drove-
mind.
He drove through a parade.
And he's trying to be like, oh well, you can't prosecute me for that because like, how can you prove that is my vehicle and then that was me with my capital letter name and this and all that?
But that's not his name.
It's just insane. He's representing himself in court, and I have never heard so many objections in my entire life.
When he was waving his arms.
Oh my God!
I seriously thought the video. I thought the snap was on like repeat, and then I saw the other arm go up. I was like, oh no, he's just consistently
one
doing
thing
this.
he was trying because he was in the other room and they had him on mute, obviously because
Well,
he
also,
won't shut up.
It's a webcam. You go tap, 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 tap. You don't go because you can barely see this on a webcam. But if you're like, bop, 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 bop. Those are two different things.
But it was funny because I don't know if I was gonna send you guys a snap. I'm not sure because I was updating these guys like every day on this shit.
Which we're very thankful for because I don't have the time to invest in this.
Literally, sometimes I'm late. Sometimes I've been like there waiting in the queue, waiting for the live stream to start, and sometimes I'm like, shit, I'm late. They're already he's already pissed off and pounding his fists on the. And she was like, I'm scared. The video of him staring her down.
Creepy.
Just like
It made the Daily Mail.
insane the amount of patience that this judge has. But he was in the other room and he has like all these boxes of his files and he put them in front of himself and then like one on top of the other and like build a fort so that they couldn't see him in the other room.
What?
And she's like, can we have them remove this like wall of filing, whatever. She's like, yeah, and get the other one because that blocks the microphone. Thank you. And the very last day, he was basically just like, I don't understand what's happening. Like, I don't understand what you're talking about. And you can't make me do something that I don't understand. Sorry, Daryl. That's not how it works. Just because you don't understand, like...
The closing statement, I'm so curious what's going to happen.
Oh, my God, because he brought up jury nullification, y'all. Oh, my gosh.
Which me and Samantha are apparently
Well, actually,
blissfully dumb.
that probably happened today. I have to go rewatch it because I started watching Love is Blind. I can't be watching all this shit all day long.
Yeah, the whole Love is Blind has on Nicole. When I started watching it last night, I was like, I probably shouldn't snap about this because then
I
Nicole's
flipped-
going to watch the entire
flipped
But
thing.
now
All of those
updated.
snaps.
I did too because I didn't want any
I was
spoilers.
like, I can't
I
hear
saw
any
some
of
of
this.
them, but I did flip through because I was like, I want to see it for myself.
I was like, he's giving us the play-by-play. What the hell?
Well, when you don't know about it, it's fine. So then when you watch it,
I do.
you're like-
It does like all go out in my brain and I forget.
but like now if I see the TikToks, because before, other than the guy talking about the sexual shit, I would have not known any of it.
I think that this season, I love how we're just like giving commentary on like we're giving like the pop culture commentary.
This is your pop culture update with Nicole, Brennan, and Samantha.
Did you just call yourself Brennan?
I think he did.
I think you just called yourself Brennan.
I have a lisp. Leave me alone.
So I think that in this season we're gonna have a lot of maybe people that are going back to the other people that they were talking to in the pods. You know what I mean? And they haven't really done. They kind of have done that before, but like they really
after the show.
Yeah, like after the show, maybe after the altar. You know, maybe people are talking to each other, but no, like it seems like people. And one of the guys, he was very open about it to the girl. Like the very first time they all get together after they've made their. I was about to say made their purchase.
Made their bed.
Made their match and all this stuff. They get together, a little cocktail party. And this guy comes back to, you know, his little fiance. And he's like, how do you feel? And he's like, how do you feel seeing all these guys that you dated? And she's like, I know I made the right choice. Like, I don't care about how they look. Like, I know that I like being here with you. And he literally was like, oh, I feel like the complete opposite. Like he literally is like, I don't feel the same way. And I don't know how her facial expression didn't change, but I felt like I saw tears coming into her eyes as he's just like, I think this guy was a little bit drunk because it was after the whole party thing, but he's just like, yeah, I was between you and this other girl. And I was like, her and I would just be the perfect match. I mean, she's beautiful. I mean, she came out and she's just like, oh, her body was banging and all that. Like he's literally just going on about how beautiful this girl is. The other girl's just sitting there like, who is his fiance, and is like, oh, okay.
You did that impersonation very well. I don't know if you were intentionally doing it, but you did it.
I don't even know who I was impersonating.
I haven't watched it yet. Like I said, I'm watching New Girl, and I can't stop one show, even though I've already seen New Girl.
You're rewatching. You're like, I have
to
commit to
that
watching
for the
New
next
Girl
10 years.
to the very end.
No, I've already watched 5 seasons.
She did it with Grey's Anatomy too. She's like, sorry, we can't watch something else. I have to watch Grey's Anatomy, and she tortured me through 3 episodes of fucking Grey's Anatomy. And one of them,
No, I haven't seen these. Where I'm at now.
Okay, I was like, I've seen New Girl 100,000 times over and over. And
I've maybe seen like random episodes, but I started from the beginning, which I
actually
have
like. That is one show. Like, you know how a lot of shows break your heart at the end. I do like how they
don't.
I'm not going to tell you what happened. I just say I do like how they wrapped it up.
I never got through it. It just got too corny for me.
No,
and I had to give up.
Oh my gosh!
No, it's good corny. It's good corny.
2012 is when I gave up.
Really relate to Jess on another level.
Schmidt. I am Schmidt all the way. All day. All day. I am that man.
Who's Brandon?
I don't think I'm anyone on that show.
Oh, he is.
He's Nick.
He's Nick plus Winston plus Schmidt plus Jess plus Cece plus Cece with the whole model thing. He's all of them. All of them. Brandon can't pick a personality.
That's why I'm like, I'm all of them.
Yeah.
Double Leo.
Oh my God. Should we like let these people go?
Yes. Okay. Pause. So if you've made it this far, we really appreciate you. We really want you to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. I mean, we would prefer Apple because we're so close to 100. Honestly, you guys have been really killing it on the Spotify. We are well over 100 on Spotify, but we're at 83 on Apple, which we have so many reviews to read for the next few episodes. I don't know if we're ever going to catch up.
But you literally, I think because you were complaining so much, Brandon, you were like, y'all, we're out of reviews. You have to leave reviews for us.
We were at 75 reviews for like a gajillion episodes, and I was like, come on.
Now what?
Anyway, we need to get to 100. We need 17 more. Please be one of those 17. You will help a starving plant in one of our homes.
I was like, okay, Sarah McLeod.
Anyway, okay, so we're gonna read a review. Oh my God, they are just roasting me.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what happens. This mic gets in my hand, and I feel like I have permission just to grill you.
Honestly, there have been multiple times during this where I'm like, Samantha, why don't you have a radio show?
Like, usually I'm not like this.
And the way you lunge to the soundboard and just like interject, like you've used this, like you've used the soundboard a million. You know what all these sounds are. You can't see the computer where I have to be like, okay, which one's the scary sound? Which one's the corn song? Which one's the bing bong? I have to like, even though I know blue is scary, it's the scariest color on this board. I still have to like double check. But you're like, wow, bing. Anyway.
I pick up on things quick.
Samantha is smarter and more
leave us
agile.
a review so that we can hire Sam.
we need someone to professionally produce this because I am so tired of doing it. Anyway, this review is from H3588, and the title is Sprout, 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 all emojis. I love this podcast so much. It's hard for me to find plenty podcasts that keep my attention.
Damn.
We can barely keep our own attention on this podcast.
Yeah,
anyway, but Nicole and Brandon are extremely relatable on all things plants and life. Their hilarious banter keeps me laughing, and I love how honest and real they are about plant care and collecting. Never change. Heart emoji.
We will never change.
I love you guys. I didn't even write the review. I'm so proud of y'all.
We've got plenty more, and we will be reading them on the next episode, so keep adding more so we can read. Maybe we read 2 per episode.
Oh my
Give
God.
us so many reviews, we can read 2 per episode.
Oh my God, Brandon.
Anyway,
He's
we love
shooting
y'all.
for the stars.
I am a star. Okay, Samantha, where can people find you?
Samantha with the plants on Instagram and the TikTok.
I love that.
And where can people buy your plants?
MonsteraPlant.co.
Yeah.
I have every single time someone sees our jackets or something, they're like, I like your jacket. I'm available on our website.
Oh, Brandon apparently was at Planet Fitness and they asked him about it.
And I said, it's from my company. Anyway.
Where can people find you?
You can find me, Brandon Botanical, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. You can also shop my plants, MonsteraPlant.co. Nicole, where can they find you?
Nicole Larson Grows on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest.
Amen, baby. Love
Have a good Halloween, y'all.
Halloweeny, spooky, ooky.
Bye.
Bye.